Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Fleck here to talk to you about the Foreign Language Department's international trip in February. I'm hoping to answer as many questions as possible in this video, but if you have any questions that I haven't answered by the end, please contact either Ms. Sefferati or myself. During February break, February 13th to the 22nd to be exact, we will be traveling to Paris, Provence, and Barcelona. I'm going to be detailing all that this trip entails, but if you want to check out videos or read reviews about the trip or enroll, you can head to our trip website at any time. And this is the link to our trip website. One of my favorite quotes is, "Please be a traveler, not a tourist. Try new things, meet new people, and look beyond what's right in front of you. Those are the keys to understanding this amazing world we live in." This is why we travel with our students. We want to open their eyes to a world that they may not even realize is out there. We try to do the best we can in our classes, but to provide them with this experience and to live it with them makes everything that we talk about in class hit home. We stress the importance of global citizenship, that we belong to more than just our school, our town, or our city. This year, by traveling to Paris, Provence, and Barcelona, we're able to provide this opportunity to students of all languages. So if you're a Mount student that is taking or you have taken French, Latin, or Spanish, we would love to travel with you. Today, I'm going to be talking about educational travel in general, specifics about our trip to Paris, Provence, and Barcelona, and how to enroll to join us on this awesome experience. Through educational travel, we're able to apply our classroom learning to real-life situations. Writing and creating a skit in which you pretend to be at a cafe in France or Spain is much different from actually being in a cafe in either of these countries. Our objectives for this trip is to bring our classes the people, places, events, and culture that make up all that we do to life. We want to promote understanding, cultural respect, global citizenship, and highlight the importance of language learning and cultural awareness. Through traveling abroad, we're able to help our students sharpen their communication skills, as well as learn to navigate new experiences that may take them outside of their comfort zone and increase their confidence. We've chosen to travel with EF Tours for a variety of reasons. First, they always put safety first. An all-inclusive coverage plan is included in the tour price, which includes anything from missing luggage to a missed flight, illness, trip interruption, and more. They have a peace of mind policy, which ensures that should anything occur to make our travel unsafe, we will be able to make alternative arrangements. So, we finally come to the specifics of our trip. Right now, we are scheduled to leave on Saturday, February 13th, and return on Monday, February 22nd. The plan as of right now is to get on buses at Mount on Saturday, February 13th, and drive to Toronto. And then our flight to Paris will be out of Toronto. While the girls have permission from Mrs. Riggi to miss school on that Monday, February 22nd, you will still need to call your daughter in as absent that morning, and she will be responsible for all missed work from that Monday. Also, it is mandatory that all students be in attendance on that Tuesday, right away that next day. On this trip, our major stops will be Paris, Provence, and Barcelona, but as you can see, we'll be making many other stops along the way. Here's a very brief overview of our trip, which will last 10 days. The 1st and 10th days are travel days. As you can see, we are packing quite a bit into a very short amount of time. There will also be some occasional free time to allow travelers the ability to visit things that are interesting to them. If you notice, we aren't going as an entire group to Versailles, but we do have quite a bit of free time in Paris, on 2 separate days. So we're planning right now that a couple of the chaperones will take a group to Versailles for a couple of hours to be able to see that. We'll also be able to go on a high-speed train from Paris to Avignon. And if you're interested in taking a look ahead of time at any of our highlights of the tour, you can click on this tour highlights link and it will take you to a video through EF Tours that will show you some of the highlights and what our time is like on a typical trip through EF Tours. You will have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things. For example, on this day in Barcelona, the whole group will be going to see a flamenco show in the evening. There's also time in Barcelona to explore on your own. The last time we traveled to Barcelona, a bunch of us were able to go on a guided bike ride through Barcelona, which was a lot of fun. And we'll also have the option to take an art workshop as well. So that sounds incredibly exciting and fun to do. And those are all things that I'll be asking about people being interested in when we get a little closer to departure. These are just a couple of highlights from our itinerary, including visiting the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Avignon, and Park Güell in Barcelona, as well as traveling by high-speed train. As I previously stated, our tour price includes an all-inclusive coverage plan, which covers travelers for tour cancellation and interruption, illness or accident, baggage and property, flight delays, as well as 24-hour access to an English-speaking representative. All of this is to give you peace of mind as your daughter travels with us. I'd like to take this opportunity to speak a little bit about MSM's approach to safety. The same rules and behavioral expectations that apply in Mount will still apply on our trip. If a traveler violates these rules, we as chaperones have the right to send her home from the tour at her parents' expense. When a student registers for the trip, you agree to follow all rules and regulations, which have really been put into place for your own safety. Please click on the link if you would like to see a list of these rules. And if you have any specific questions regarding any of these rules, please let me know. One of the questions that came up at our meeting was dress code. The dress code will not be as strict as it is during a typical school day at Mount. However, we do want to remind you that we're traveling in February. So, if you wear a shorter skirt or leggings, you're opening yourself up to being a little uncomfortable because it will be quite chilly in Paris in February while we're traveling. Aside from being responsible for your behavior and actions, there are a few other things that you will require for this trip. These include money for souvenirs, optional excursions, things that you do in your free time, beverages, lunches, and snacks. Tip for our tour director, bus driver, and tour guides. I will know an exact amount closer to our departure, as typically it's not as much as the company says that we should allot, which is about $10 per day. We do receive bonuses for having a large group travel. So those bonuses will be able to apply to these tips. But again, that's something that we'll know once we get a little bit closer to leaving. You also will be responsible for acquiring a passport. Just a passport, we don't need a visa for this trip. But it's important to note that all passports must be valid for at least 6 months after our scheduled return date. If your passport is going to expire before August 2016, please renew it prior to leaving. This is a company policy through EF Tours, and it's something that we absolutely need to make sure is all set. And don't delay when you're applying for a passport. It hasn't taken too long recently in order to get a passport, but you don't want to procrastinate on that. I know that by now you're wondering how to join us on our adventure, and that moment has finally arrived. Before I get into pricing, I just want to explain everything that is included when you do sign up for the trip. We will have a full-time bilingual tour director, an incredibly educational itinerary. We are constantly learning and doing and moving. So if you're looking for something that's going to be a vacation where you're sitting on the beach and soaking up rays, this may not be the trip for you. We are definitely, from the time we land in Paris, going to be hitting the ground running, seeing as much as we can in the very short amount of time that we have to do it. All sightseeing that we do will be led by an expert tour guide. We'll also have included entrance fees to many of the attractions that we'll be going to. Obviously, anything that you do in your free time is not included in the overall price of the cost of the trip. The price also includes round-trip airfare and hotels that are typically about 3 stars or more, and there are private bathrooms for each room. For rooming, if you're an adult going on the trip, rooms are typically 2 adults per room, and for Mounties is usually 3 to 4 girls per room, but each room will have its own bathroom. You will also get breakfast and dinner each day, a comfortable motor coach to travel in, tickets for the high-speed train that we'll be taking, and the all-inclusive coverage plan that we've talked about before. So, the total cost of this trip per student is $3,240. You can see here that everything that this price includes. And this price is locked in if you enroll by the end of the month. Unfortunately, the closer that we do get to the trip, the price will increase as it will be more difficult to secure tickets on our flights and things. However, if you put a down payment, a deposit in of $95 prior to October 1st, that will lock in your price. There is an adult supplement if you're an adult that would like to travel with us, and the price for adults is right here. As you can see, underneath the price, it says monthly payments. So in 4 monthly payments, that goes towards that reflects the different options that you have for payments. And you do have 3 different options for paying for this trip. You can choose to pay in full at enrollment. You can choose to set up an automatic payment plan, which is what those monthly payments were referring to. It is free to set up an automatic withdrawal from your bank account. Or you can choose a manual payment plan, but there is an additional $50 fee if you choose to receive invoices and make your payments that way. All payment details are completely between you and EF Tours. I don't do anything with collecting money or anything like that. I can facilitate any questions. So if you do have any questions, you can ask me and I can try to answer them for you. Or I can direct you to someone from EF Tours who will be able to help you. EF Tours does allow you to set up an online donation page so that you can send and share a link to whoever you'd like. This would be cool for something if you're looking for, you have relatives from out of town and they usually send you a Christmas present or something. They can send you your Christmas present right through this donation page. Miss Seferati and I also have many ideas of ways you can raise money for your trip, but we are unable to run any formal fundraisers through Mount to be able to raise money for your trip. But again, we have a ton of different ideas of different ways you can raise some money for your trip. So please see us if you'd like to hear about some different options that you have. We're so excited to take you on this adventure of a lifetime. If you'd like to join us, you can go online to our website and register directly on our website. It's very easy. You just enter your information, hit submit, and you're also able to set up that initial deposit to lock in your price. Or you can call EF Tours directly using this phone number. You will need our tour number if you enroll by phone. Here's our tour number again. And down here in small print, you can see the customer service department phone number through EF Tours. And they are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. And that's Eastern Time. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste it, to experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. If you have any questions, please contact Ms. Seferati, Mrs. Fleck, Mrs. Roller, or Mrs. Hearn. And thank you for considering traveling with us.